Mufti Saab, can you tell us something about Nisa? Amir Ali, can I tell you something about women? I can tell you many things about women. فَإِنِّي بِأَخْبَارِهِنَّ عَلِيمٌ. That's Acha Cha Cha. Nisa 34. He's talking about a surah. Acha Cha verse. Religious talk going on. Religious talk. Qawama. Amir Ali, I've answered this before. The qawama, the الرجال قوامون على النساء. This is a descriptive verse. So this is describing how society is for the most part. So society is generally, has been more so, if you're looking at a global picture, it seems to be historically definitely was patriarchal. And although today in the West it's no longer patriarchal, it's kind of egalitarian, and maybe in some places it's been matriarchal, but by and large, for the most part, it was patriarchal, and therefore the Quranic discourse was, the khitab was simply reflecting the society that it was talking to, and humanity for the most part, because humanity for the most part, men have been the kind of the keepers and the safeguarding element within a family unit. They have been the providers, the breadwinners, and that still is the case from from the cognitive revolution, from the time of Adam alayhi salam coming down. For the most part, men are the kind of people that have been kind of responsible for protection, responsible for security, responsible for these things. And even though in modern societies that is not necessarily the case now, actually, wait there, let me take that back. I think it's still subconsciously there. I think that, you see, from a subconscious perspective, I feel that it's interesting because I think, you see, there's a subconscious, unspoken. It's not about words, but there's a kind of comfort I feel that women, and this is making a generalized statement, but from a psychoanalytic perspective, that I feel there's a kind of psychological assurity that is sensed by women with the presence of a man. That even if he's not doing something, but so for example, in a home setting, the presence, the male presence, or not just the male like a child, but man presence, I think it non-spoken, but it kind of provides a subconscious psychological assurity for women. And even if the guy isn't, he doesn't have to be somebody that is, going to be some kind of warrior, but still, I feel that we still have that psyche with us. That's my kind of reflection. But so if in certain societies women are the qawwamat ala rijal, let's say they are matriarchal societies or egalitarian, بعضهم قوام على بعض. It's like, in that case, the verses would apply accordingly. This isn't to say that men are better than women. It's not to say that. So they have that qiwama, but that's in those societies. In some societies, they don't. So that's all I'm saying. She just needs the presence of a big gun. No, but I feel that it's interesting because I feel that, you see, men, I think men, there's a time that men want kind of solitude. I don't know whether this is, I don't know whether people relate to that. Not always want solitude, but I think there's a time where men kind of, they don't mind that being alone, but then they want obviously, you see, I think with men, it's more about certain needs. This is going to sound very wrong now, but I think it's more about convenience and needs. And obviously, there is that, that kind of, and I don't just mean intimacy. It could be like, let's say, in a home setting, taking care of children, doing this, doing that. But I think men want that kind. There's a kind of need for um, just being sometimes not disturbed and just being in in their own world. And I think, you see, the irony, almost the divine comedy, is that women, I think, there's a need for the man to be present. And that's just like so comical because it just doesn't work. As I'm sure the quarantine is proving. I'm sure they need solitude too, but I'm just saying that a lot of the times you'll get this thing that people will say, in relationships, you hear this a lot, that people will say, oh, like, so if a man is going out somewhere, or if he's doing something, that the woman would want him home, even though he doesn't have to be doing anything, but just wants him home. And and I think this is part of that divine comedy that God has kind of let loose in humanity. Is that, yeah.